Should be recording. Did you guys get a little thing?
Yeah, it's recording.
Sweet. Okay. Fantastic.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll edit that up and put it on YouTube. We've got a brand new YouTube channel. We're going to be just relaunching, just full of educational content, everything from our Zoom channel, Zoom calls to whatever we kind of just produce, just tutorials and everything. So we'll have it on there.
Okay, yeah, let's
we'll get started. So thank you everyone for joining. This is our first ever Zoom session for TitanFlow. We've been working on this app for about how long, Pranal? Like
8 months?
4 months? 8 months? Has it been 8 months?
It's like, yeah, the first version.
Oh, since the first version in July, options only. That was a disaster. Yeah, so we've been working on this app for about 8 months now, and we're really happy with that people are really starting to like the app. They're starting to use the app, and people are actually making money. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we were built it for, so everyone can make money and be successful in their trading ventures. So that's kind of where we're at. My name is Sagar. I'm one of the co-founders of TitanFlow. Pranal, do you want to introduce yourself too?
Hey guys, this is Pranal and Gokar. I'm also one of the co-founders here. Sagar will go over his background, but I am actually a consultant in the SaaS space in Seattle, Washington. Have some work in like the business development and strategy side, and then have been trading for about 8 to 10 years, throughout the process. I'm mostly a swing trader. Am 25, almost 26 now. Have been trading, since start of college. Was in and out of the process, losing money at first. Finally found like a general process that worked for me, and then that's some of my background. We'll talk more about the app and how we thought about it later on. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And yeah, so like I said, my name is Sagar. I have not been trading in 10 years. I've been trading. When did we start the app? 8 months ago. Yeah, I've been trading for 7 months. I actually started trading after we came up with the app idea, just because it seemed interesting. My background is also in the SaaS space. I have launched many startups, and this is just another one of them. And it's going well. And I have a bunch of engineering experience. I have a bunch of business experience. I was a self-taught coder, so I didn't really know how to code at one point, and then I just taught myself how to do it to build one of my companies, and now I'm here. So that's a little bit about me and Pranal. Do you want to talk about the app now, you thinking?
Yeah, let's dive into it. I know people have busy schedules, so just some of our background here. If you guys have any other questions about how you guys can get involved, or just talking through the app itself, or any questions you have both of us here. And then you also have Gabe, he's on Little Parmesan there. He's on video as well. So if you have any questions, us three especially, as well as some of the experienced traders are going to talk through next, can definitely provide assistance as we move forward. So please reach out if you guys have any questions, not only on the app itself, but also how to use the app, and then how to use it in your trading strategies. Okay, awesome. So we're here today to talk through just basically how the app works, how you can utilize it for your strategy. And then I want to dive into just a few pieces, because I know some people maybe are not as well versed in options flow. So for the next 2 or 3 minutes here, I'm just going to describe the process and what we're looking for in options flow. I'm going to talk through this now so you guys can think about it for a second. We're going to walk through the app, and then I'm going to give some examples of how to use the app efficiently and in the right way to find plays early on to then confirm with your chart analysis. One caveat to this is this might change in the version 2 of our app, but right now we're focused on providing you solid data quickly in a mobile UI friendly platform. So we want you to use this flow as a tool in your toolkit with other other items in your toolkit, right? Technical analysis on charts, confirming that trade with flow, or finding good flow and then confirming it with technical analysis, right? So using both those together will just provide you more confidence in how you trade. So really quickly, what are we looking for in options flow? So if some people don't know necessarily, simply put, options flow data provides you insight on smart money sentiment. Smart money is comprised of institutional investors, market makers, who not only maybe use options as a leverage tool for their aggressive and confident trades, but also as hedges for their larger stock positions. Okay, so through the data that we gather from some of our outlets, we transpose those in our app, as well as use some of our algorithms to better help you identify what to specifically look for. So when you're looking for options flow, if you guys are looking at the slide now, is I always look for one thing, and that's aggressiveness, right? Options flow you can think of as riding the waves on a surfboard, right? They come in different periods throughout the day. A lot of things are active during the morning and right before close, but even throughout the day, you'll find stocks move, and you'll see options flow directed to them. So as I'm talking through the app, think about a few key things or key characteristics of aggressiveness that might be involved in how we show our examples later on, okay? And those kind of 6 things I usually focus in on aggressiveness, right? And that's aggressiveness gives me confidence to use that as an indicator to either enter a trade. And those 6 characteristics are relative volume and total premium. So for example, if you're trading some maybe obscure, not necessarily obscure stock, but some lower level stock that's not maybe Apple, like a Snapchat or a Splunk or those 2 stocks, right? If you're seeing on a daily basis, those aren't getting a lot of premiums, and then one day you're seeing a large horde of premiums coming in, relative volume is high in options flow, and that information is coming really rapidly, that can give you an indicator that someone's trying to get in immediately, right? And so as we're showing you information throughout the app, I'm going to keep coming back to these 6 points so you guys can understand, hey, in these examples you're giving, how do we check off the boxes? And when we're thinking about these 6 key characteristics of aggressiveness, think of them as, if you check more boxes, that gives you more confidence to then enter the trade, right? It's a tool bag in your toolkit, right? So you're not necessarily entering it just on options flow, but if you see all these boxes checked off and an awesome bullish chart or a bearish chart, depending on if you're playing puts or calls, it'll give you more confidence to enter a trade. So first checkbox is relative volume or total premium, similar to how if a stock has a large volume throughout the day comparatively to the last 10 days, that's pretty bullish. 2 is sweeps versus blocks. So you'll see as I show you the flow today, there's 2 types of flow items that are brought into our app. There's sweep items or blocks, or there's also a third item that's just a trade. We don't necessarily know what specifically it is, but sweeps and blocks is our main point moving forward. Yeah, great question about hedges, right? So a large percentage of options are used as hedges. So in stock trading, especially with these big hedge funds, they're usually trading large amounts of stock, right? And they might hedge with a smaller amount of options flow, right? So we only want to trade the option flow that's coming in that shows the aggressive patterns, right? If there's large amount of flow quickly, right? Those are not necessarily hedges. There's a large amount of flow with the same expiration and same strike price, right? That gives us another confirmation that it's probably not a hedge. It's more likely a aggressive bet, right? So there's 2 different things, and yeah, we'll show you today in terms of how that works. So, and in terms of those hedges as well, when we're talking through those items, the more boxes you check here in terms of these 6 items, the more likely it is that it's not a hedge and more likely it is an aggressive bet. So similar to how stock price moves are, a probability, right? And you're doing the same thing with reading options flow and then using that information to make a trade. So 2, sweeps and blocks. Sweeps are, you can characterize them very simply as a market order. a large institutional investor or market maker is sweeping across all different exchanges to buy up all the options for that premium price, right? So when a sweep comes in, that's a little bit more aggressive because they're buying it, they want to buy it now, they're buying at any price that comes in, and it's usually a market order. A block is a trade between private parties, right? So that could be just a limit order more often than not. And unless it's a large, very large size block order, I usually don't pay too much attention to them. I mainly focus on sweeps that come in. And most of the information you'll see on the app are sweeps. There are blocks that come in. You can always filter them out, which we'll show you. But usually when we're starting off with, sweeps are always the kind of main ploy you want to look at. And that comes back to the aggressiveness factor, right? If a sweep comes in a market order, that's way more aggressive than someone buying, putting a limit order on a stock or option. 3 is bid versus ask, right? So in the app, we'll show you today are different avenues of looking at the flow, right? So each flow item that comes in, or more often than not, probably 80% of them will either have a little A next to it or a little B next to it. When flow is bought at the ask, either a call or a put, it most likely means that someone is buying that option, buying that call or buying that put. At the ask, which is A, or above the ask, which is 2 A's, are pretty bullish for that direction of flow you want to go. So if someone is coming in with a large amount of puts, buying above the ask, they're paying a larger premium for that product than someone that's buying, let's say, at the bid, right? Most of the time that contracts are at the bid, similar to how stocks, when you're selling a stock, usually if you're doing a market order, it's going to sell at the bid. Same thing with this structure. If you see a B or BB below the bid next to a flow item, that usually signifies a sell, right? So not all the time, but usually you'll see at the ask or above the ask, A or double A as buying the option, B or double B as selling the option. So if a stock is at the top of its range and you're seeing a lot of B, Bs and double Bs, right? But it's still call options, those might be sells rather than buys, right? So in connection with you looking at the chart and then looking at the flow, you'll see more often than not that they will correlate. And when we show you the app today, you can do a lot of back testing to see that as well. And we'll show you that in the app walkthrough. 4 is time till expiration, right? So similar to how some of us play weeklies or play stocks options that are expiring in the next week or two. Those are usually more aggressive in these type of orders, because when institutional investors and market makers are playing, you'll see most of these flow items are above 50K, right? 50K to up to 5 million, right? And if they're buying weekly call options, greater than 500,000 for calls, that should interest you, and that is unusual flow, right? So we'll show you some of those examples today. Some players will play very aggressive weekly orders with large premiums, and that is something you should look at. Next is out of the money versus in the money. Same thing in terms of aggressiveness. When someone's buying a contract that is out of the money, right, it's less likely that stock price is going to reach that strike price, right? And if they're paying a ton of premium for that strike price, especially these institutional investors and market makers, that should be unusual to you. And like I said, this is not necessarily something that one characteristic makes it confident. If you see a ton of these items checking off your box, hey, there's a bunch of call sweeps. They're bought at the ask, and they're weekly calls, and they're above $500,000. All those check your boxes signify someone's getting in, someone's getting aggressively, and someone thinks it's going to move today or in the next couple of days, right? So as you're looking through the process, use options flow in that way to figure out, hey, what's more aggressive versus what is not necessarily, what is most aggressive and what is something that I can't figure out, right? If it's muddy and you see a lot of calls and puts for the same stock, don't necessarily use that information, right? Wait for the signal where you see a ton of stock, ride the wave for either calls or puts for a specific stock, and then take that trade, right? So it's another confidence marker in your tool bag. And then the last one, I don't see this that often, but you'll see this in some stocks that are moving pretty rapidly, is the same strike and expiration. If someone's hitting the same strike and expiration for, let's say, a weekly contract or even 2-3 weeks out, you'll see usually that stock move within, within that given time frame. So keep an eye on that as you move forward, and we'll show you on our app where you can specifically see that in our contracts page. Right, and if you guys have any questions, please save them till the end. We'll have a large amount of time for Q&A, and then we'll go ahead from there. Okay, sorry, do you want to go to the next slide? Awesome. You want to bring it up? So now we're going to go through a specific app walkthrough. And like I said, this is going to be recorded so you can look through exactly kind of what we're talking about here. I'm just going to quickly go through the app, all the cool features that we have in our initial app, what we're trying to do in the future as well. And then we'll go from there. So when I came to Sagar with this idea, last summer, I was talking about a process to make it very simple for beginner and intermediate traders to understand options flow and understand the process of how to use it. A lot of these web-based platforms make it very complicated and make it so there's just so much information in front of your eyes, right? So we want to make it super simple in this process here. So the first thing we're looking at is the 4 main pages of TitanFlow and how probably we're going to expand on that in the future. So this first page is called Today's Snapshot, right? We're here to show you the total money flow that's there for the current day. What's really cool is, sorry, if you wanted to toggle on some of those filters, is that you're able to filter now through the different views to show you, hey, what's the most total money flow for weekly calls and that are just stocks, right? Maybe toggle on the puts because there's probably 10 more puts today. And you'll see, hey, what's the information that's coming in very basically at a high level. When you enter the app, this is the first page you'll see. Right, you can see all the key information, you can filter through the total money orders, and you can click in each stock actually and see the money orders coming in for that day for, let's say, SPY. If you could click on SPY, so for weekly puts for SPY, right? Awesome. So click out of that. And then what you can also see in our app is at the top right, you have an option to change the date for all pages of our app, right? So from the flow, from our contracts page to the alerts you got, everything can be changed for you guys to back test, let's say 2 weeks ago, to see, hey, when the stock market moved this way, or when the stock market rebounded or reversed, what happened in terms of options flow, and how can I use that in the future to understand what's going to happen later on, right? So use this historical search page to back test as well as look at your prior trades to become a better trader in the future with options flow and your chart analysis. We'll show them in a second, but let's go to the flow page now. Awesome. So our flow page here, very similar to maybe somehow the web-based platforms work. It's a scroll down feature to see all the flow coming throughout the day. Our flow updates within the minute, probably actually a couple seconds. And so throughout the day, once you're accessing the flow, if you have the premium version, you can see all this flow. The free version has 200, I think around 200 free flow items that are still live throughout the day. The basic plan obviously has this page as well. And here you can do a lot of your searching for a stock, right? If you're already in a position, you can search for a stock. Sorry, let's search for maybe Apple. If I'm in the stock here. What I can also do is filter through a ton of my options, right? So if I just want to see weekly flow or volume over open interest, or if you scroll to the right, there's any at the ask or sweeps, right? So all those characteristics which I just told you, right? If you're playing the bullish side, hey, I want to search for Apple calls that are at the ask that are sweeps and that are calls, right? And show me kind of when that time frame of information is coming in. If a bunch of flow is coming in at 10 a.m. in the morning, right, which is in that process, right? Then you can see, hey, a ton of flows coming in at this specific time. Let's get in right then. So, like I said, we're going to use this information with chart analysis. If the chart's looking bullish, if Apple's pulling back to support, or if it's breaking through resistance, and you see a ton of flow coming in, like I said, it's another confidence indicator for you to jump in or stay in your position if you're seeing a lot of flow that are still coming in at support. Well, you also have on this page, and we'll answer some of these questions in a bit. When you answer, what you also see on this page is a couple key indicators at the top. Sorry, if you want to click on the first one, which is kind of the put to call ratio, just go to all, I think. Yeah. Here you'll see the general put to call ratio, right? So total amount of calls versus total amount of puts traded. And this is the number of items, not necessarily the total premium. The number of calls versus puts and the put to call ratio. Just to give you another indicator that says, hey, what's happening throughout the day? Where are people buying, and how much of that information are they buying, right? So this is just a really high level indicator to show you bullishness versus bearishness. Okay, awesome. And then clicking out of there, what's really cool feature we just added, I think last month, is the second indicator at the top there is a historical search indicator. So on the first page, we showed you a day historical search indicator that you can backtest from. So if you want to see just for a specific day, that information across the app, you can change that. If you want to see Apple's flow for the last week or so, you can search the date range, get that information here, hit search, and you'll see that flow for that date range. So from January 28th through March 4th, hit search, and you'll see all that flow for the whole month, honestly, from those days, right? And then you can also, create all the filters you want, right? It's the same filters you have on the original stock page you have on here. We're going to actually expand to that later on. We have a few right now. We're going to add some more filters as we move forward. But weekly volume over open interest, calls versus puts, you can access all that information. And then if you want to do any historical searching, let's say for the past week, I don't know if most of you will do it for the past 2 months, but I know a lot of people want to see that weekly flow to see, hey, what happened on Monday versus Friday, right? Is it all bullish? Is it somewhat bearish and bullish? You can take a look at that as well. So if you unclick that, awesome. And then what you also see at the top right is an option to sort. So to the top right here, searching Apple, if you click sort button, awesome. Yeah, you'll see at the bottom it says recent strike, expiration, or cost. If you double click on either one of those, you can sort A to Z or Z to A, right? So as you're moving forward, and so let's sort by cost, if you want to, and just seeing, hey, throughout the day, what is the most flow coming out? Look at that. April 16th, it's been a pretty bearish day, right? In the morning, $2.28 million above the ask, super bullish for those put blocks, right? And you'll usually see those blocks be a lot of money because they're privately exchanged between two parties of institutional investors. So really interesting to see throughout there. So that's just some cool ways to use the flow. In our next page, we'll show you, hey, how do I use this to not just be a flow platform, but also use our algorithms to better assist me on trading. So sorry, if you want to go to the next page. Here we talk about today's contracts, and this is probably my favorite page here because it gives you not only the kind of the idea generation of, hey, where's the flow coming into? What do I have to look at on my charts to confirm? But also gives you the avenue to look at it throughout the day, right? So first things first, on this page, Sagar and I built a custom algorithm to provide you information on first, what stock is getting the most flow. Is that flow rapid flow, right? So if it's coming within a certain time period, I think it's 10 to 15 minutes, if someone's getting a lot of flow. what's the total amount of premiums they're getting and what's the total amount of orders they're getting as well. Each flow item here is split up between the exact strike and expiration where that flow item is coming into. So for example, if you hit on Apple, March 12, 2021, what we're looking there is $1.89 million. And I think there's like 18 orders throughout the day. Yeah. And if you scroll down, if you click on Apple, if you scroll down, you can see that when the specific flow came in, and if you scroll up a little bit, Sagar, you can see a lot of that flow came in around that 8:23 marker, right? So right when that flow comes in, what's really cool with our algorithm here is that we can provide you push notifications when that flow comes in, when that rapid flow is detected, right? And what type of flow it is, right? So the March 12, 2021, 121 contracts, is it out of the money? If it's put sweep, if you go out of this, Sagar, and go to the top right in the notifications option, we'll give you specific notifications for any level of contracts. Level ones are smaller level contracts under a certain amount of premium. I think it's under kind of under $500,000 of premium. Next is level two, which increases the total number of premiums, total number of orders. And level three is our largest number of premiums and orders. So realistically, most of the days, individual strike and expiration algo flow, which we have in our contracts page, will start at level one and go to level three, right? So you'll see in the morning, usually in the first 15 to 30 minutes, you'll see those level one contracts coming in. Sometimes those contracts start at level two, right? Because we only include information on here that has a certain amount of orders or more, right? So as you're going up, if it's 4 or more orders and information is coming in, you'll see that exact information. We'll push that information directly to your phone. So you can say, hey, I want to look at key flow that's coming in just for level 2 or level 3 contracts. I want to see once they get bigger. You can totally do that. Or just level 3 or just level 1. So you want to see the smallest level contracts that are going to get bigger and bigger, right? So through this process here, we split up the different levels in an easy readable format for you to see, hey, level 1, 2, and 3. And then what we also have is the filtering at the top, right? So if you want to see, hey, I just want to see the weekly flow here, right? There's too much information today. Give me just the weeklies. Tesla, March 5th, 2021, 600 strike puts. Level 3 contract, massive, $3 million in 9 orders totaling that. That's great. And you can see latest at 12:58, those are even being bought towards the end of the day. Fantastic, right? Right before close. Someone thinks that's going to happen into, I guess, an overnight hold into tomorrow, right? So what's also cool in this, and something I love to use, and I think a lot of people don't use, is that the indicator at the top right next to your alerts page, which is the all button. That will allow you to filter through alerts within a specific time frame. So let's say you're trading in the first hour of the day, right? And you want to see the flow or contract flow that with our algorithm that came in just for the past 5 minutes. If you hit that 5-minute indicator, only the flow that came into our contracts that came in the last 5 minutes will be shown on this page. You can't see it right now because we're not in live market hours, but test this feature out tomorrow, because I think it's awesome for my trading as well. If I'm trading throughout the day, if it's 10 a.m., there's not a lot of volume in the market, midday, hey, what's getting the most flow in the last 15 minutes? Let's check that out, right? So throughout the day, at the beginning or in the middle or at the end, you can see exactly where the flow is being pinpointed. I love to use this at the end of the day because usually we have a ton of contracts in there. Let's see in the last 30 minutes, what flow's coming in, right? What's flows hitting at the last second of the day, maybe for an overnight hold. I can definitely do that, right? So this is what I love to use. Definitely try it out. We can go over that. Yeah. So just one more thing here. Sorry if you unclicked here out of this. Just quickly going over this page again, because I know it's pretty complex, is that we split up our today's contract page in 3 sections: level 1, level 2, and level 3. our algorithm picks up different levels based on total premium and total orders, and if there's rapid flow detected. What you can also do here is set alerts at the top right for your contract alerts to say, hey, when is something moved from level 1 to level 2, or when does that information flow in, right? So you also get those push notifications directly to your phone. And you can also hit the all button at the top right to allow you to pick between specific timeframes to reduce the amount of information, to filter all of it out, so you guys cannot get confused and understand exactly what's moving at that exact time frame. Awesome. So yeah, that's our contracts page. We love it. As we have some awesome features which we're hopefully going to release in the next month or two, which is going to expand on this, and everything that we're doing moving forward is just to improve the app, right? So we've gotten a lot of great feedback from you guys, and if you guys aren't already in our Discord, please join it and provide as much feedback as we want, because we're here to provide the best experience, right? So anything that you guys want and we can build, we'll look into it. Next, our page is the alerts page, right? So here we can set specific flow information for what you want to see, right? So if you hit the alerts toggle, Sagar, I think we'll look at what you guys have. So what Sagar has set up here is he wants to see all tickers for all expirations. They're just Titan sweeps. So pretty much what he's saying is that any Titan sweep that comes in, any contract over $1 million and expiring within the next 35 days, and it's pretty aggressive and bullish, give me that flow and send a push notifications directly to my phone, right? So this can get a little bit confusing, right? So we want to make sure we filter out all the information that we don't want to see and just the information that we want to see. So if you hit the alert button, sorry, a common thing I use is the weekly massive total premium kind of filter. So I usually do all tickers. I put all flow to be over $250,000. I select calls because I'm usually a bullish guy. I usually don't trade puts just because on the downside of the market, I usually don't do well. So I wait to get into my entries as a swing trader. Do calls, do at the ask, do sweep, and do out of the money, right? So usually I do these 4 indicators because, like I said before, those six options, right? Relative volume, sweeps versus blocks, in the money versus out of the money, same strike and expiration, time till expiration, right? We want to hit on all these markers, and this specific flow, or the flow that I'm telling TitanFlow to give me, is giving me all that information, right? Where's the flow coming in for that week? And I'm only getting push notifications for things over $250,000. So on a Monday, if you guys have this app, check this out, set this indicator to be like this, right? And check out what flow you're getting, because most of the time, from what I backtested, those stocks usually move, right? Especially in a bullish market that we've had for the past year. Really cool view here, right? And so again, what I'm doing here is checking off all my boxes, right? What is important for me to see? I want to see things that are the most aggressive. And if I can see those things that are most aggressive, I can confirm with my chart analysis and then jump in if I want to. We're going to constantly improve this section. This is one of the parts of the app that we want to improve on. So as we move forward, actually this weekend, we're fixing a lot of things with the alerts. You can now soon be able to click into each alert that you get in the push notification. It'll go directly to that flow, something that we are fixing this weekend. We're really excited to push that out and make those corrections for you guys. Awesome. So that's specifically the pages to our app. Also on the settings page, if you want to just quickly run over that. Just information about a glossary, tutorials on how to use the app, our link to our Discord. Those are probably the three main options as well. And we're going to be adding to this section as well with educational material moving forward. In the V2 version, we're keeping it under lock in terms of what we're building, but it's going to be pretty cool, guys. Gabe, I wanted to ask Sagar, is there any questions I want to answer before I go into some of the examples, or Gabe, you got them?
I think we got most of them answered. There's a couple we'll touch on at the Q&A session at the end, but for the most part, I think we covered everything.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's great, guys. So just going really quickly across all pages of the app, Snapshot shows total orders and premiums. You can filter by them. You can also do the historical date search at the top. Gives you, sorry, you want to change the different dates so they can see what that looks like?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it there. That'll change the whole app to be that specific date. So even the flow page, the contracts page will change for that date as well, which is fantastic. Boom, updated. Let's go to the flow page. That's flow for February. We'll go to that page. Awesome. I think, yep. So that's everything changed here. Tesla still got some level 3 contracts that day in February 26th. You can see everything has changed for that. A lot of AMC and GME back in February, but everything's changed there. And then, yeah, so that's specifically our app, guys. We walk through the whole situation of how I use it, how we designed it to be used. And then as we move forward, we'll talk through some of the key features that we have, key examples that we have, and how to use it. So sorry, let's go out of this and we'll go to some of the examples.
Okay, let me just let me stop sharing. Give me a second. Give me a second.
No worries. Okay, agenda for the rest of the meeting, guys. We're gonna walk through just quickly some examples of how we use the app today, which is really cool. And then we're gonna hand it off to Alec and hopefully Anthony, just describe their strategies and process. Awesome. So here's an example that we had today. I just want to give a really quick example here. We got a level 2 alert for snow today. I got that alert directly to my phone. I have some alerts set. The market day was pretty choppy, right? Up and down. As snow was reversing and trying to go red to green, I was looking at the chart, looked good, and then we got this huge swath of flow, right? So I set my indicators to show me the highest premium flow as well. Even though these are April contracts, the rapid flow was crazy, right? So I think between 3 minutes there, between 7:34, actually a 10-minute span, 7:34 and 7:44, you saw almost $1.5 million worth of flow that are coming in, right? Showing you confidence to get into a position. The Titan sweep at the bottom was bought above the ask. All of them are sweeps. Another checkbox off my category. Also, those are out of the money, right? Out of the money flow here. If we can hit on most of the checkboxes that we described earlier, one checkbox this doesn't hit is time till expiration. But the amount of money that comes in for snow here is very unusual, right? If you see usually any flow in the contracts page over $1 million with multiple flow items, probably 4 or more, that should show you some type of significance of up or down based on if it's caller versus or put. Here we got this contract in here. The only reason it wasn't a level 3 is because it was more than a month out of our indicators or of our algo. But the snow level hit, rapid flow came in, chart looked good. It was going red to green. The stock moved almost $30. Though that first couple flow items came in at about 446. Stock moved all the way up to came in at 246. Apologies. Stock moved up almost to 280. Right. So there's always these gems throughout the day, and using our filter option as well as our indicator option. So if you guys are using our alerts option, please use that, because instead of having to look at the app and see how things are flowing in, set those alerts up so then you can understand when that information is coming in. Jump in to our app and see, okay, that's confirming. Let me see my chart. It's confirming as well. Gives you an indicator to jump in, right? Awesome. And then I think we had a question here for the chart.
Well, let me pull it up.
Yeah, honestly, anonymous. I think the question you had, it could be right, and it could be multiple orders that are coming in. Those are definitely different orders as they're coming in, probably 30 seconds apart. But you can see the massive flow that are coming in for the same strike expiration, same amounts, same premium price. Okay, next example.
Does anyone have any questions about this one before we move on? Might be typing. I didn't really plan that ahead, but
we can answer that at the end too. I want to get to
let's get to the next one.
Awesome. So same day today, we had up and down. Honestly, these choppy markets, show best of our app because we can play both ways. We had a level 3 contract, which I think we showed you earlier for Tesla. This actually might be checking off all the boxes we have in our platform, right? Time till expiration, weekly expiration tomorrow. And this is a good case and good item I want to tell you guys as well. Just because some big institutional investors trading weekly contracts doesn't mean you have to, right? Buy contracts 2 or 3 weeks out, but play this as aggressive because because they perceive the move is going to be right now, right? So just for your sake, don't get that theta decay. Play a couple weeks out, but understand that this is going to move today most likely, right? And you can see that today we got rapid flow coming in. We have Tesla in the morning at 7:28, 7:30 coming in right at the top of its range right here. It was a descending. Pretty much Tesla was descending in an even pattern as it was following its trend line. This flow comes in right at the top of that trend line. Massive flow comes in for tomorrow's expiration for $600 strike puts. Jumping in, you can see how many came in. 4 or 5 came in within a 2 or 3 minute time frame. Those got alerted to our app. I think they finished off at when it went down to $600 around 10 to 12. So you made 100% on those contracts as well. So playing the game, it's both ways, right? You see the flow. Does the chart confirm? Yes, the chart confirms. Hey, if Tesla didn't break out of its trend line here and kept going down, the flow confirms that, right? And flow actually came out throughout the day. The flow even came out for that ticker at 12:58, right? So right before market close ended. So we'll see tomorrow, right? The QQQ and the futures I think are already down. So we'll see how things turn out tomorrow. I think tech's going to continue to move down at least somewhat, right, before a rebound. But this is just a key indicator and example what we can use for our flow and our contracts page as well. Using our flow page and our contracts page for idea generation, confirming with our chart analysis that it is at a high level support or a resistance level. And then if it doesn't break out or gets rejected by a resistance level or support, if the flow confirms that, that gives you another indicator to jump in. So that's an example, from these 2 examples. I know I want to get to Alec and Anthony to describe their process, but just wanted to give a few examples today, that we got in our app, as well as how the app works itself. We're here on Discord to answer all your questions. And if you need more examples, if you guys want to talk, DM me one-on-one, please DM me. We can answer more of your questions. Awesome. So I think, sorry, you want to hand it off to Alec?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Let me find him.
I think it's unmute him, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to ask him to unmute. All right. Alec, you get that?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Let me go ahead. Am I good to share my screen?
Yeah.
Yep, you should be.
All right, cool. Let me see. There we go. All right, cool. All right, what's going on, guys? So my name is Alec. I actually have a call out alert channel in the Discord for TitanFlow. Just a quick background on me and my style. I'm pretty much 99% strictly a day trader. I've actually been using the strategy I'm about to show you guys for roughly 10 months now. And fortunately, everything's been going well and I've been able to turn roughly $5,000 initial investment into about $130,000 and able to make this a full-time job, fortunately. So, are you able to see the chart I have up right now?
Yeah, we can see it.
We can see
All right,
it.
perfect. So there's initially it probably looks a little intimidating, right? There's a lot going on here. But if we go over to what I'm using here, really I'm just using moving averages, and what these are ways for us to find dynamic supply and demand, right? So the key to understanding this strategy is understanding that we really have no say in this market, as much as we would like to believe, with the whole GameStop frenzy, but that's an anomaly. The reality is that big money controls this market, and they do this by outsmarting the average trader, right? They know how to buy in at areas that we typically wouldn't. So I'll give you guys a quick example with the Qs here, right? Which triple Q, if you guys know, they track the NASDAQ, right? What we want to find is we want to find patterns, right? Patterns where we're going to bounce. If you guys ever follow my Discord channel, I explain bounces a lot. That's 99% of how I trade. And the reason is because I want to buy in and I want to cheat the trade, right? So I don't want to buy all the way up here when everyone else is buying, right? Everyone up here is saying, if they don't have all these indicators, they're just saying, oh, we're super bullish, we're all the way up, we're pushing 300. I want to buy down here where we're essentially buying a dip, right? So how do we find these areas where we're essentially buying a dip? So once you enable all these indicators, and again, I don't want to go too crazy in depth and drag this out like super long. I'm working with the guys with TitanFlow to bring you guys educational content. So hopefully in the very near future, I'll be able to give you guys hours and hours of content. But just a quick look at this chart, we can see patterns, right? We can see that once we trade above all of our moving averages, right? And we're going to refer to these as supply or as demand, excuse me, right? Anytime a moving average is below the stock, that's demand. Why? Because when we pull back into that area, we tend to bounce up off of that because there is a lot of demand for the stock because people are buying it at a discount, right? When we're all the way up here and we're breaking through this top spot right here, we're in an area of supply because there's a lot of shares that people are trying to sell off, and there is kind of an uneven distribution of seller to buyer ratio. So really, if we zoom out real quick, we can kind of see that this recent trend we've been in, every time we hit this green line here, which is the 20-day moving average, we tend to have a little spike, right? Right. So that's where you're going to want to buy in. You're going to want to find these areas. Read our drawing tool here real quick. These areas, right? You see how every time we hit that, sometimes we fall through, but we reclaim it, right? We reclaim and we make higher highs. Now, I know if you guys are active traders, you've seen kind of this crazy sell-off we've had this week. And just a quick way to incorporate this chart into using options flow, because options flow is instrumental for day trading. How I use Titan is I look strictly at weekly flow, and I'm looking for unusual options activity in the form of out of the money weekly calls or puts. Right. So in the case of this week, we've had roughly $400 million in weekly QQQ puts. What that means, out of the money, by the way. So what that means is people are aggressively betting that the Qs are going to keep selling off this week because they're buying contracts that are expiring this Friday. So they need an aggressive move in order to profit. So if you're seeing hundreds of millions of dollars, that's usually a good sign. Now, when we're looking at this and we're saying, well, how low can we go? We're looking for a measured potential, right? Just quick definition of measured potential. That's how much room you have to your next supply zone or your next demand zone, right? So in this case, when we broke this golden line here, which is our 5-day moving average, what is our measured potential? You kind of ask yourself, how low can we go? Where should I sell? Well, we have all the way down until the 100-day moving average here, the red line, which we haven't tested since that little sell-off in November, right? So at that point, you don't want to buy puts right here, right? Because this is an area where we might bounce. We might not, right? This might be a crazy aggressive sell-off and we come all the way down to the 200. But we don't want to buy right here because now this is an area where it's really at a discount, technically speaking. This is excluding news and whatever else might come out, right, with stimulus and whatever. But strictly from a technical standpoint, we're sitting right here at an area of demand. So when we see that flow come in and we see we're breaking all these lower lows, excuse me, we know we have room from roughly, 309 down to 306, right? So that's called our $3 measured potential. That's how far we have until we test our next area, right? So when we broke our 50-day, for example, we had room from 318 to 314. So that's our $4 measured potential. Now I'm going to show you guys real quick how I incorporate this into a trade. Let me give you an example with BIDU. A trade I recently took. I was actually able to make $12,000 off this trade, which was by far the best trade I've had in a while. So I was really excited about it. But I just want to give you guys a quick thought process on a specific stock and how I would incorporate the strategy to profit off it. So we're looking for February 19th, which was a couple Fridays ago, right? So the reason I love bounces is because when you see a stock gap up with a lot of volume, you don't want to buy the gap up, right? Because just like we talked about, you're buying those higher highs when you want to buy it at a discount. There was upgrades, there was flow, everything said BIDU was bullish, but we gapped up so much that you don't want to buy those highs. So I think if we find, here we go. So we gapped up from about 297 all the way up to about 310, right? But you see, we kind of sold off here, right? We actually came down, where's it at? That initial candle, we came all the way down to 301. Well, if we go to the daily chart, you can see February 19th, 301. Well, that's our bounce spot, right? Because we're pulling back to an area of demand, an area where we like to bounce on a bullish stock, right? Instead of buying it up here at 310, which is kind of no man's land, we can kind of catch that little dip around 302, right? Now our measured potential is all the way up to 315. So now we have almost a $15 measured potential versus a $5 measured potential. And really the reasoning behind this is that when you have a big gap up, impulsive sellers come in and they just look to secure profit. And what big money is looking for is they're looking for those impulsive sellers to supply them with shares to where they can pull it back to an area where they have such nice measured potential. They're going to come in and they're going to push this thing up like crazy. And you can see after that little dip, it ran all the way up to 345, right? So now let me see if I'm able to do this. I want to share my Thinkorswim screen if possible.
Alec, we're getting short on time, so I'm gonna have you probably wrap it up so we can give Anthony some time as well.
Yeah, and and Alec, we can close up in like 2 minutes, but then we can everyone on the call, like Alex said, we are going to have him provide material as well. We're thinking about how the best to do that. He's a fantastic trader, so we're gonna align some educational material.
Absolutely. So let me just wrap it up real quick, guys. So the way we incorporate that chart into it is we're looking to, this is my Thinkorswim. So this is back to that Friday, right? We're just looking to what is the best value. We're going to look at the volume, right? So those 310 calls have a lot of volume and open interest. They have a nice tight spread. And then as soon as we hit our bounce, I mean, pretty simple, right? We just go ahead and send it, and that's all she wrote. And then we just look to write it back up. All right. So yeah, the key is the charts and then finding flow that correlates with it. But yeah, that's about it, guys. So if you guys want to send it over to Anthony.
Thanks, Alec. Appreciate it, man.
Yep.
Yeah, so hey guys, my name is Anthony and I'm another trader with Titan. And let me share my screen real quick. Once Alec gets off.
Oh, my bad. Here.
So yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Is it going?
Is that good?
Sorry, you can take him off too.
How do I take him off? Wait, there it is.
All right, there we go.
All right, there you go. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, here we go. All right, you guys can see that?
Yep.
All right, awesome. So, I mean, I am also mainly almost 90% a day trader and a scalper, and I trade pretty similar to Alec, and we've been trading together for about a year now. So we use pretty much the same chart setup, a lot of moving averages, Bollinger Bands, all that. Don't really want to beat a dead horse. He did a pretty good job at explaining that. So, I mean, right here, I kind of just want to show you an example of how I used my watch list, one of my watch list levels from this week with some flow that we got with the app. So right here, I think yesterday I had Boeing as over 277 to take a scalp, or I think it was, yeah, 227. So right here we see, right here, it's a little sneaky micro channel. And I basically use the daily and hourly together to get a view of different channels, and we trade the channels. So right here, we see it rejected twice right here, and it traded consolidated right here. And right here is the open. So we opened and we were getting nonstop Boeing weekly flow on the app, and a lot of premium was coming in. And as you can see, as soon as it broke that level, that 227 level, it had a monster move, about $10. I think it traded all the way up to around 237. So yeah, I mean, that was one of like the best examples this week for a bullish name that had some really nice flow that came in on the app that we can take advantage of. And like Alex said, we were really watching. I mean, we knew tech was gonna get that big sell off. As I shared this this chart yesterday, I think we could see that 311 level was really key. It held about 3 times within the past couple of weeks, and we got that huge, I think it was like 100 to 200 million worth of put flow coming in. And as soon as that broke down, we knew that the selling was going to keep coming. And I mean, we're going even lower still. So yeah, I mean, those are just some great examples of how you can take advantage of the flow coming in with the watch list. And actually another one I'm watching still, we have Facebook. It's still trading this huge range right here. As you can see, it's held this this bottom channel right here multiple times, almost 4 times, and then the upper channel too. But I mean, it's looking like we're gonna confirm to the downside either tomorrow or sometime next week. So that's definitely still on the watch list. I mean, other than that, I think that's about it. I think Alec did a great job, and we're gonna have some more education coming with how to read the charts and use the watch list coming up, how to set up your charts and all that. That'll all be coming with the education.
Sweet. That's fantastic. Great job, you guys. That was really informative. And then I hope everyone took some notes during their chat. So I'm gonna just open it up. Let me talk about a couple things. About before we go into the Q&A session. If is it sharing? You guys see that? So if you guys have any questions about the app, we recommend joining our Discord channel, Discord server, because we are on there pretty much all day, responding to questions. If you have any problems with the app, we'll get to you right away. Or you can shoot us an email at support@titanflow.io. That's the best way to get a hold of us. We are here to pretty much help you in any way possible, from learning how to use the app, to learning new strategies, to just being your friend. So that being said, I'm going to open it up for Q&A. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just send it in the chat, and Pranal and Anthony and Alec and myself and Gabe will basically do our best to answer them. So if you guys have any questions, go for it.
Yeah, just some comments while you guys are
Thanks.
writing down. Thanks, Sawyer, and thank you, Anthony and Alec, for providing the information. They are fantastic traders. So as you're looking through on a daily basis, if you have any questions, they're so willing to help, and we're really excited to have them on board because they really care about the education piece of it, right? Because that's the biggest thing. We can find good traders, but they really want to help out as well. So awesome. And then just want to give a quick shout out to Gabe as well. He's helping us out with just the basic communication in our app. So if you guys have any questions, a little Parmesan nickname on our Discord can also assist you. How's the app going to change, Anonymous? I love the app. Thanks, man. So we're not going to change anything that you guys love. We're going to expand on it, and we're going to make it much better. We're trying to get into more of the full service structure of kind of app creation. So from idea generation to researching, using Flow or any other options contracts, to then executing on the trade. We're trying to include that all in a single platform. We're not necessarily trying to become a brokerage, but if we can create the speed and execution you guys need to execute on the trade better with the options flow, that's our next ploy, right? And it's something that's, I don't think anyone has ever done before in creating a full streamlined process. So we're working with different data providers. We're working with different partners to align with that. And we'll probably have that released in the next, hopefully 2 to 3 months here, right? So we're in development of phase 2. We're excited to get that going. Is there a plan to have an AI bot that Flow Algo has? We've thought about that for us. We are still looking into, the viability of that moving forward. We found that with some of those AI bots, it's not necessarily fully reliable, and we kind of cover that with our contracts page. But if there's an easier way to pinpoint when to get into a specific stock or pinpoint flow that's going to work more often, that's our major ploy with version 2 as well, right? Making sure we have the information there now to better filter that through that information and give you that kind of like you said, that kind of that flow algo level of information, if not a TitanFlow version of giving you that direct information. With that's on the radar for sure. Is there extended hours flow information? So options are not traded extended hours except for some. I think it's 10 to 12 ETFs like QQ or SPY. They're traded after hours in between 1 and 1:15, or if you're East Coast, 4 and 4:15. So you can see that on our platform as contracts that are coming in. So you'll see flow coming in those last 15 minutes. We might figure out a better way to show you that after hours flow in a better format. That's actually a great suggestion. So we'll look into that in terms of V2 build. Promotional prices coming up for our app. We will look into that for sure. I think once we're hard at work in terms of this V2, once we have that up and running, we actually have some other partners, hopefully, that are joining on board as well. So like I said, we're expanding our reach across different platforms, partners, and data sources. And we'll get that together. And like I said, we're just trying to provide a better platform for you guys in terms of a full service structure. So look out for that. Sorry, do you want to take that question?
Yeah, programming language. It's our app is built on Swift, which is the native programming language for iOS apps, and our backend is built on Node.js.
Adam and Anonymous. I think this correlates to the same thing. So that's our major thing for V2. We're trying to include. We don't want to release the whole boat in here, but visual representations of charts and aligning that with flow will be in V2. We are getting that for each individual flow item as well as each contract item that are coming in. We're trying to get some more data sources. So we're in development, and hopefully you'll see that in the next couple months.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. I think I don't want to let any of our ETs or anyone else stay too late, because I know some of these East Coasters are past 10 o'clock. Other than that, at least I think we'll give closing comments here. This is the first time we're doing this Zoom call, so sorry if we're a little bit off in terms of how we were structuring it out or talking through everything. We really appreciate you guys. We built this out. We're still actually, I'm still working a full-time job and doing this full-time as well. And then hopefully that'll change as we move forward. We're really here to provide you guys the best experience. So any questions you guys have, Alec and Anthony are available on Discord. Me and Saga are available in our DMs as well on Discord. If you want to talk to us in any other format, follow us on Instagram or Twitter or whatever you guys want to do. And we're here to assist you. So sorry, you want to say anything?
Yeah, you nailed everything on the head there. If you guys don't have Discord for whatever reason, feel free to email us at support@titanflow.io. I have no life, so I just sit here and answer everybody's questions anyways. So I will answer and get back to you as soon as we can, especially anything that pertains to the app or anything that pertains to the market. But if you want instant answers, best way, find us on Discord. And yes, this will be recorded. I mean, it was recorded. We'll be posting it on YouTube probably sometime tomorrow. And we actually hope to host more of these sessions probably on a weekly basis for the foreseeable future, just to, we want to start building a community with you guys. We want to talk to you guys and we want to see what your thoughts are on the app and on the market. And we love to hear it. So on that note, I want to thank everyone for talking. Who spoke today, and I want to thank everyone who came out to check us out for the Zoom session. Thank you so much, and we will probably see you next week. Check your emails.
All right, take care, guys. Good night.
See you.
Thanks, Alec. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate it.
Anytime.
Bye.